Hi folks, welcome back to Raakesh iWave Lab, a Techno Hub channel for placement training. In this session, we are going to discuss about the Salesforce validation tool. You know what is validation, right? So on the website, when you enter on the text box or when you enter some form, right, you should not enter the wrong data, right? So when you enter the data on the form, it has to be validated. So for such cases, we are going to go with the validation tool. So we'll see in Salesforce, we'll see what is validation tool, how we are going to validate it, and let us discuss in deep now. Right. So first of all, we should know what is validation tool in Salesforce, which contains a formula expression that validates our data and returns a value true or false. So for example, if you are going to enter some data on the form, so the entered data should be tested, it should be validated. So if the tested value is going to be true, if the condition is true, then the value will be accepted so that you can able to store the data. Otherwise, it will not allow you, so that the information will be displayed so accordingly. So the validation rule contains formula expression, right? It evaluates the data entered by the user. When the user tries to enter the data, it is going to validate whether the given data is correct or not, right? So now coming to validation rule, the validation rule displays error message to the user when the enters invalid data. So on the form, when you try to enter the invalid data, what happens? It's going to show the error message. A pop-up message, a dialog box will be displayed that your data, entered data is wrong. We can create a validation rules in Salesforce for object fields, campaign, and then campaign members, etc. We can create the validation rule. We can able to create the validation rules for the Salesforce object. Apart from for the fields, then campaign members and so on, we can able to create the validation rule. So now coming to, we have understood what is validation rule. So we would know the types of validation rule. Here we have two types of validation rule. One is going to be system validation. The other one is called custom validation. So what is system validation? The validation which has been created by the Salesforce, right? So when you go to the accounts object, when you go to contact object, some of the fields which we mark with star, that is called required field. So those fields you have to enter the data. If you don't enter the data, it will not allow you to save the form at all. You cannot be able to save the record. It's not possible. The data will not be compatible. Alright. So whereas system validation is that validation rule created by the Salesforce. So whereas there will be a required field and you have to enter the required field, the data is compatible with data type or not. Going to check whether the data is compatible with data type or not. So whereas coming to custom validation rule, the validation rule has been created by the user, by the developer. So the developer who is going to create the validation rule, that is what we call as a custom validation rule. So these are designed by the user as per the business requirement. So the developer or the record owner or whoever it may be, right, who is going to create the validation rule. So based on the business requirement. Example, quantity should be greater than 0. It cannot be negative. Right, so reorder level should be equal to 10, and the phone number, zip code, and everything should be in the correct format, and the salary should not be equal to 0. So likewise, we can tell so many examples. We can check so many things in the validation rule. Even in the Excel and other technology, also we try to do validation rule. When I enter some data onto the Excel cell on a particular cell, we are going to validate it. Right, same way in Salesforce also we are going to validate. So right, so for validation, now let me see how to get into validation rule. So for this, what we do, we go to setup, home, right, platform tools, object and fields. Then you're going to select the object manager. Say it's going to be invoice, right? It is going to be an invoice. We're going to select the validation rule for the invoice object. I've selected the invoice, and then it takes you to the detail page. On the detail page, you can see you will have something called field and relationship, page layout, and so on. At the end, you can see there will be a validation rule will be available. See here, page layout, lightning record pages, button, links and action, compact layout, field sets, object limits, record type, goes on. Like finally, you can see validation rule. You're going to click on the validation rule. When you click on this validation rule, it will take you to the validation rule page. And you have a new button there. You have to click on new button. So right. So then this page will be displayed, and you're going to, so where you're going to enter the formula, the expression, you're going to enter the formula in the formula editor, right? And the below you can see the error message is there, and you're going to see what is the error message provided if you enter this value, what is less than 0, right? So then it has to show the error message. What is the error message going to say? Where you want to show the error message? On the field, on top of the page. Either if it's going to the top of the page, it's going to a dialog box will be displayed. Then a pop-up message will be displayed. Or on the field means on the top of the field, a red color text will be displayed. So either way you want it, whichever you want, you can enter. Based on that, you can enter the validation field and you can specify the location also. And then you're going to save it. After saving this, right? So now what you do, you go to the that is, it is going to show the validation rule. What is the validation rule? What is the error message? And who has created all those details is going to do what it is going to show it. Once that is done, now we have to test it, right? So you have to go to the particular perform or invoice object page. That is, you go to the recruitment tab page, and then you click on invoice. So the invoice page will be, when you click on new button, the form UI form will be open. There you're going to enter the detail. So when we enter the detail, is going to be the quantity is going to be less than 0 or something, right? So then the error message will be pop up like this, or it is going to show the error message like this, right? So otherwise it is going to show the error message like this. So now let me get into demo now. Now what I'll do, I'll go to the production environment. Now I have already into production environment, right? I have to go to my page setup. I have to go to my page setup. I'll click on this what is it? Setup. I'll click on this gear icon and click on setup. It will take you to my setup page. Now I'm into my setup page. Fine. Now it has come outside. So now what I'll do, I'm going to log in here. I'll log in and I'm going to enter the password and then click on login. So now I have logged into my production environment. This is my setup page. Now what I have to do, I have to click on my object manager. So when I click on object manager, right, or else when I click on this right, the right hand there is a there is an arrow map. When I click on that, you can see that objects will be listed out. What are the recent objects which have worked on, whichever you worked on, that will be displayed here. So now what you're going to do, you're going to select the invoice object. You're going to work with invoice object here. I'm going to select invoice object. Will take you to the detail page. So now you can see the field and relationship, page layout, and so on will be there. At the end, you can see validation rule is there. At the end, you can see validation rule. I'm going to click on validation rule. I'm going to click on validation rule, take you to the validation rule page now, but there is no any validation rule as of now. It is empty. On the right hand side, you can see that new button will be there. On the right hand side, you can see a new button will be there. I'm going to click on new button. I'm going to click on new button, right? So now I have to give the validation rule now. Now I have to give the name for the validation rule. I have to give the name for the validation rule. So that what I'm going to do, I'm going to check the what is that fees, right? The rule name that is amount. So I'm going to say invoice amount, right? So invoice amount check. I'm going to give some name here, and you have to make sure whether it should be active or not. So if the validation rule has to be worked, then you have to make it active. Otherwise, you can make it deactive. How do we make it deactive? Just you remove this, click this, so it will become deactive, so that the validation rule will not work. But I want it to work here, so that I make it as active. And here I have to insert the field. Now here I'm going to check what is the field. Now this is the, you know very well, this is nothing but a formula editor, right? So now we call it as an error condition formula here. I'm going to specify insert field from the object. I'm going to select invoice amount. I'm going to say invoice amount inserted. So if it is less than 500, right? Or if it is less than 500, or if it is less than it should be greater than, it should be 1000 and it should be greater than 1000, right? It should not be less than 1000, right? If it is less than 1000, if it is less than 1000, right? So then what happens? I have to enter. If it is less than, so or else what I can do, I can say like it should be less than 1000, right? If it is less than 1000, or I can say if it is less than 900 or something, 999, right? If it is less than 999, then what I have to do? And I have to check my syntax now. What is my syntax? Whether my syntax is correct or not, right? No errors is found. Now, so I have to enter the what is that? Example, discount percent cannot exceed 30%. Like this, I have to enter the error message, right? What is the error message? Please enter the invoice amount greater than 999, right? This is my error message. And where is the error location? On the top of the page or the field? Whichever you want, you can select it and then click on save button. The moment you save it here, right, now it is showing the validation rule detail page here. So now see here, the rule name is invoice amount check, and what is the error condition? Invoice amount should be, if it is less than 999, what you have to do? You have to enter the message that invoice amount to be greater than 999. Who has created it? That is me. I have created that. So then it is done it, right? That is all over. Now, in case you want to go and edit, you want to clone it, you can do clone it here and you can edit it. Otherwise, now what I'll do, I'll go to the production environment. Like I'll click on app launcher. Right, what is the app now? Recruitment app. I'll click on recruitment app. Right. Now again, I'm going to go and click on invoice tab on the nav bar. So now already invoice is there, right? Now I'm going to create a new invoice, for which I'm going to click on new button. I'm going to enter the new invoice date now, right? I'm going to enter the invoice date. So invoice date is going to be today's date, and customer name is Abhinav. Right? What is the position? He is going to apply for Java developer. What is the invoice amount? It is 900. And discount amount is 10%. And mobile number 8536780 something, some number I'm giving. And which company I'm going to select? IT002. Then I'm going to click on save. See here, it is giving an error message. It is saying we hit a snag here. Review the error message, but still it is coming in the bottom of the page. But anyway, we are able to see that the error message display. Please enter the invoice amount greater than 999. Right? I've entered 900. And even if I go and try it, okay, I'll close this. Even if I enter 999, you see here, even if I enter 999, right? And I'm clicking on save, they're trying to save, right? So that it should be, if it is less than 999, it is not allowed. If it is less than 999, it is not allowing. It should be greater than 90. This 99 and greater than 999, it should be there, right? If it is less than 999, it is not allowing you to enter. If it is greater than 999 or something, right? It is allowing. Right, but still, if I want, I can go and change it to 1000 also. Fine, no problem. Right, this is how we are going to do the validation rule. This is how we are going to do with validation rule. This is how we are going to do with validation rule. Got it? So now again, in case you want to deactivate it, again, what you do? Again, you go to setup, platform tools, object and keys, and then go to object manager. From the object manager, you're going to select the invoice. You select the validation rule. By then, the validation rule will be there. Select the rule and click the edit option and pick the quick list and the right hand, right? On the right hand side, you can see you have to click on the pick list. So the pick list will be elongated so that you can see that edit option will be there. You have to click on edit. It will take you to that page here, right? Validation rule page. Here you have the activation act. Already I told you, if you remove that check mark, if you remove the tick mark from the active checkbox, it will become unchecked, right? So that the activation rule will not be checked. Right, and then finally you have to click on save button. Once you save it, then what happens? So that the activation rule will not work. The activation rule will not work because it is disabled. That is, it is not enabled. It is disabled. So once it is enabled, only the rule will be checked. Got it? So this is how we are going to do with validation rule. So guys, please, if you try to understand this, if you're not able to understand, you can contact me at info.iwavelabs@gmail.com. Right, please be safe and please take necessary caution, necessary steps so that be caution in this pandemic situation. Right, don't roam anywhere else. Try to work hard with Salesforce and try to acquire your knowledge as soon as possible and get ready for your certification. So once you learn all this concept, once you do your Trailhead modules, then you're getting ready for the Salesforce certification, and you can do your Salesforce certification, right? In case if you have any doubts, you can contact me, and please do subscribe to our channel and click on bell icon so you can get the you'll get the notification then and there whenever I post my whenever I post my videos, right? Please do subscribe to our channel, right? And please do support us. So I thank you for watching my videos. So like Raakesh's iWave Lab at Techno Hub channel for placement training. Please do subscribe. If you have any doubts, you can call me, or you can you can send a mail to info@iwavelabs@gmail.com. Please be safe and stay tuned. Bye bye.